We start episode 2 with Lana's flashback, because of course you start there. Everyone knows if you put a cliffhanger at the end of an episode, you don't want to continue the story straight away in the next one. We meet her colleague Mike and they have a really efficient conversation that gives you a bunch of details that you won't give a shit about. Basically, they're bodyguards for a senator and his 10-year-old daughter, but we're about 30 seconds away from meeting them, so why bother telling us? Lana says they're there for protection and not a nanny, which means she's going to end up really liking the child. They're also going to be in the senator's home for 3 months protecting him, which means she's going to fall in love with him. It's painfully obvious as they wouldn't show this story if all that happened was they got there, acted really professional and then went home after 3 months never to speak again. Obviously I prefer a cliched story over no story, but they could have tried a little harder. Also, Mike mentions her being cooped up in her home for ages going crazy and she says she was just on leave, but we'll get into that in a bit. It's been 30 seconds and they've just shown me the shit they were talking about in the car. We can see the daughter's young and she basically says her dad's a senator.
Why are you talking to me like that? I'm not a senator.
Well, at least Lana is acting like a professional. She should be stone-faced during this scene, but instead it completely contradicts her character from 30 seconds ago. You can't just say, I'm a protector, not a fucking nanny, and then immediately start giggling at the first thing the girl says. Start the flashback with her as strict as one of the Queen's guards and then slowly create a relationship with the girl.
You're pretty.
I'm sorry, she has no filter. Not that she's wrong. I mean, not that I'm agreeing.
What the fuck is going on? Like, who says this shit? That was possibly the worst way to show a character thinks someone's pretty. Aren't senators politicians, and aren't politicians known for talking on the spot and avoiding questions? This is someone who's so good at doing what he does, he has this fucking huge mansion and then completely falls apart when he's around somebody he wants to bang. Cut to nighttime and we get to see how easy it would be to kill this target. Thankfully the characters have noticed this, but haven't actually done anything about it. If I was to kill this man, I'd get a high-powered sniper rifle, sit in a bush and then shoot him in the face. But let's just assume it's bulletproof glass, so you'd be pretty safe inside. I wouldn't want the enemy knowing exactly where everyone is in the house because you are visible no matter where you are because it's all windows. Shut the fucking curtains and just look on the cameras outside. Lana gets spooked by a fire, so bitches about fire safety to the senator. We find out he likes to drink to get through the late nights and offers some to Lana, who declines because she's a
Cunt!
And she's on duty. Now for some boring shit about kids and how it's so great being a parent, but it's horrible if something happens to them. I'm sensing a bit of foreshadowing here. The senator mentions he's in danger because of a bill he's passing, which is something to do with pulling down a wall, and also a bit about racism. If I was to guess what this is about, I'd say it has something to do with a current American politician and his plan to build a wall which has something to do with racism. Lana checks in with the daughters to see if she's okay, and we find out she loves the Hunger Games. I have no idea why they put so much focus on this shitty book. I haven't actually read the books, but I've seen the films and it's a safe bet to say the books suck as well. But it just seems so out of place here. She then reads a bit about dying as yourself to Lana for some reason. We're supposed to care about the Hunger Games or something, because I really don't. She obviously has a bad taste in films as well, because she has a poster for The Karate Kid with Jaden Smith and Resident Evil the final chapter for some reason. A fucking 10-year-old watches Resident Evil, let alone has a poster for the most boring one. Whose decision was that? If you don't know who this man is, then you're in for a treat. Paul W.S. Anderson is a film writer, director and producer for some of the finest pieces of cinema. We've got Resident Evil, Alien vs Predator, Death Race and all of their sequels. That's pretty much all he does. Make a shit film and then make it 5 more times. That's why he's known as the worst Anderson in film. So when I saw this man's name pop up in the credits, I got excited, because I knew this show would be a fucking mess. I just wish he was a part of the writing process, because the best line it's ever written was,
"Okay, cocksucker. Fuck with me, and we'll see who shits on the sidewalk."
It's good to see that his Bachelor of Arts from the University of Warwick wasn't wasted. The flashback continues at the beach where we have some more character development.
I saw in your file that you've been injured.
What a weird way to bring that up. You go for a fun day out at the beach and he starts asking about her injuries. She tells him that it happened during a hostage situation and Lana was the hostage. But they don't tell us about any injuries, so I have no idea what's wrong with her. I assume this is what they were talking about in the car, so maybe they put her on leave because of PTSD, so you'd expect her to still be suffering from the trauma that she went through. Nope, it's just a pointless bit of backstory again. They then go for a swim because playing with the senator's daughter is more important than keeping him alive. Again, I'd just sit in a bush with a long-range rifle and explode his head like a watermelon. Back at the house, the little kid is being a nosy little shit trying to spread rumours about a love triangle. Apparently Mike likes Lana but has had less than a minute of screen time, so hasn't really had long to express this. Did it even need to be a love triangle? Because I would have been fine with just a relationship between these two.
Are you bothering Lana?
Yeah, she's being a right nosy cunt.
Hey. Do you not have that drink?
The fucking worst bodyguard I've ever seen. She's gonna get drunk and shag the client. It's Lana's last week guarding the senator, so she's gotta seal the deal quick if she wants the dick.
Ever since her mother died.
Perfect timing, he was only talking about his ex dying. Were these guys just waiting for her to try and fuck him? Are they just extreme cock blockers? Well, Lana can't hear Mike because she's so professional she took out her earpiece. I mean, it doesn't go in your ear or anything, so I don't understand how you hear things from your neck, but I get there in the future and they want to do the futuristic look. Well, what do you know, those windows aren't bulletproof as a small pistol shatters it in one shot. Seems a bit weird they try and run up to the window instead of just shooting him, but that's just one of those problems with bad guys in films. Quick, let's hit him with our gun! Lana eventually gets the dick out of her mouth and tries to help. Whoa, this is exciting. I love how these bad guys just come out of nowhere and only fire one shot when they clearly have the advantage. Mike takes care of the senator while Lana tries to find his daughter. What a great fight. I love how they cut to a different angle every couple of frames so you can clearly see what the fuck is going on. Now where is that little girl gone? I hope not hiding in the wardrobe that she hides in when there's danger. Finally, this show does something right. Now I'm glad she was a nosy little shit because this makes this scene so much sweeter. And how shit of a bodyguard is Lana? Starts drinking on the job, tries to fuck the client and then shoots his daughter? I don't think a 1-star review would do her justice. You know what, I'm really glad they took the time to show all this information. It's so nice that by episode 2 I have someone to root for. You kill a kid and you've got my vote. Although I get the feeling I'm not really the demographic for this show, so I imagine there's a lot of people finding it hard to back this main character. There's a lot of comments about how terrible she is at everything really. But now we have all of this vital information, let's see how it affects the plot. The adventure continues with the two main characters helping the crew. The guy has been shot, but he is still okay to scare people. The others are still talking about the crew evacuating, just in case you forgot that happened, but they do tell us the ship has been hit. Which again we already know as we've seen the fucking huge asteroid sticking in the ship. We cut back to these three, Sean kicks the guy, and then that's it. Over to this three.
Something came on board. It started killing the passengers.
What do you mean? Something came on board?
Well, what she means by something came on board, she doesn't know what it is that has got onto the ship. And when she says it started killing the passengers, it obviously means it was killing the passengers. Stop fucking wasting time with this shit dialogue and do something.
He tried to kill the woman outside!
That's better. Now quick, act really suspicious. We find out the comm system is down and they can't chat to anyone on Thea. I didn't even think there was people on Thea because this is a colonisation mission. Also, the ship is called Origin, which you know, means the start of something. Logan starts getting the shakes looking like some proper meth addict, which wouldn't be too shocking honestly. After all, they let the Yakuza members and child killers on board. They reveal a little bit later that he's epileptic, and I'm telling you this now because it's dumb hiding this. He acts so suspicious this whole episode for pretty much no reason except to create a little bit of drama. Then he just angrily walks off. It's like this show wants me to hate this character. Ray tells the group that there's something wrong with Taylor, which may come as quite a surprise because I thought he looked okay. Yeah, he may be acting irrational, but that's blending in with this lot. And then it's back to Logan because we want to keep you on your toes as this is a YouTube original series and nobody has patience watching YouTube videos. Does he not remember the last time one of these buttons was pressed? Because he should. It happened probably less than an hour ago. What an awful way to get someone's attention. Sneak up on them and aggressively grab them by the shoulder. They make their way into the exercise room and I just want to point out the weird layout here. We have the two running machines here with what looks like a bath right behind them. So if you're unlucky enough to trip while running, you get shot into a bath with probably someone in it. The person in the bath is probably at the other end because they don't want somebody falling on their head while they relax. Then that means while you're running, you'll most likely have somebody staring at your ass, which will make you self-conscious, making you turn around every few minutes to make sure they're not staring, therefore increasing your risk of falling and looking like a twat. You see, you've got to think about these things when you're designing a spaceship. Also, watching slow motion surfing probably won't improve your running or cycling. Well, they have a sip of some water and... Oh my god, a shadow! Who could that be?
Where's Logan?
Oh, it's just Logan wandering off again. He's really racking up the creepy points. What's the point of this B story? Because it really ruins the flow when they cut every few minutes from this to this. The story is attempted to go somewhere and add a little bit of conflict, but they still want to show a little bit of chatting. I've also removed the flashbacks to tidy this up a bit, so what you would get is a slight bit of conflict, water drinking, back to the conflict, but before anything happens, look at this story. We find out that these two have shot each other and we have to root for one of them, because obviously the other is bad. I don't know about you, but I trust her. She wasn't in a locked room that had 9 people who died from some fucking spaceship. And also she doesn't look like she smoked a fistful of crack. Now back to these two, wandering around some more. Now back to these 3!
She shot him.
We know, she didn't deny it. She was clearly saying something's wrong with him, which I thought would be blatantly obvious. Now back to these 3. While going up in the elevator, Ray starts going unconscious, but manages to tell them the code for the medical centre. And now back to these 2, because what they're doing is fucking exciting. You see, jump scares are always exciting.
Someone's still here. Oh my god.
Just the creepy guy showering. Not only is it showing how shit the B story is, but also adds a layer of confusion with this character. He's just found out that he may be stranded on a mostly empty spaceship because the crew have evacuated and those that haven't are injured from something hitting them. So first reaction is to wash his hair. He puts his cock away, which is becoming a theme to this episode, and they start watching the captain's logs. Oh no, something went wrong. What could have happened? Asteroid. Now back to these 3. Taylor tells them that Ray tried to lock him inside, which we know because she was on the other side of the locked door. He says she shot him, which again we know because they've already told us. And he also says he shot her, also again we know because they've told us. I'm starting to think this program is made for dementia patients. Lana decides that they should take Taylor to the medical bay because...
2 people, 2 stories.
No, there's one story. They both said they shot each other and he was in the room that had a weird infection that turns you into a contortionist. For all they know, it's highly contagious, so could already have it, but carrying him across his ship only increases those chances. The kindest thing to do is tell him to think about the rabbits and pop a bullet in the back of his head. Lee manages to break into the computer systems, finding out that they're 9 days away from Thea, but it also says the ship will land itself. I can't wait to see how that pans out, because I have no idea how that thing is supposed to land. You see, most spaceships are designed similar to planes because that's the only way you're going to land. Places like the moon are a bit different as there's less gravity, so it doesn't take as much thrust to keep you in the air. But all the moon landings have been in small pods that don't need that much thrust anyway. But this ship has to land on a planet with presumably similar gravity to Earth and probably similar everything else, so there's less creativity needed for the setting. It won't be able to glide like a plane, which is obvious by the look of it, and it would need a hell of a lot of thrusters to stop it ploughing into the ground. My theory is it's going to crash so they can avoid all of this. Also because there's an alien on the ship that will cause drama is another reason it might crash land. Lee then gets a nosebleed because she too is probably thinking hard about the ship landing. This is supposed to make you think something is wrong with her, but people just get nosebleeds sometimes. It doesn't have to mean an alien parasite is eating your brain. She could have just picked her nose too hard because that's usually how I get mine. Logan wanders around some more, finally finding the medbay. Unfortunately it's locked, so he immediately gives up and sits on the floor. I'd just find something to break the window. I'd probably assume nobody has the code to the room because it's a big ship, and what are the chances that the few people that didn't escape are medics? Spooky! Who could it be lurking around in the darkness, not making a sound? Oh, I should have known it would be the 2 people running down a corridor while holding a very injured woman. That's a very silent combination right there. I'm glad they brought that loud instrument with them because otherwise I wouldn't have been frightened.
Logan! Can everyone just stop hurling themselves around corners?
Was everyone trained by the League of Shadows or something? Everyone's just tiptoeing through the shadows. They get into the med bay so they can operate on Ray.
She needs drugs.
Why?
Morphine, ketamine.
Now I thought ketamine was just a horse tranquilizer, but it turns out it gets used in surgeries all the time as an anaesthetic, which means this show taught me something. So thank you, Origin. I now know a bit more about ketamine. While the surgery is happening, Logan's getting quite addicty. But again, he's not an addict, nor is there an alien parasite in his brain, he's just epileptic. Meanwhile in the operating room, Henry's too shaky to sew up the wounds. Maybe it's an alien parasite in his brain. But thankfully Abigail, who has no medical experience, can do it for him. It turns out that Henry isn't actually a doctor, and to be honest, it was silly to assume medical experience means surgeon. I learned how to put people in the recovery position, which I class as medical experience. Stopping someone choke on their vomit is very different to heart surgery, but it would probably come in handy here because Logan is having a fit. It's almost like it would have been better if he had told everyone he's epileptic and not a drug addict. Well, he doesn't seem to learn from his mistake, but neither does Katie, because...
Everyone has secrets, right?
Don't keep that shit a secret, he nearly died. Speaking of nearly dying, what's happening with these 3?
How do we treat this when we get to the medical center?
How am I supposed to know?
You're a medic.
What a twist! The alien is just something that goes into your head and controls you. So that means the alien is about as powerful as a person. The alien also has a bit of amnesia when it goes into someone's body because this alien didn't know Taylor was a medic, which means the danger to these characters is a regular person with amnesia that just happens to have an alien on their brain. Doesn't seem too bad to me. I imagine if you leave the alien alone, it would just stay in that body forever, so it's basically just a regular guy. I mean, they didn't even realise that something was wrong with him. Anyway, this all leads to a Mexican standoff where Lana can't shoot him because of that time she shot a child. But then the gun jams for some reason. It's a good job these characters weren't swapped over. Sean would have tried to shoot, but nothing would happen, and then Lana would die a miserable death. How does the alien know how to use a gun? I guess it could have watched Ray shoot a gun and learn it then. But how does it know English? If it can't remember a character's backstory, how would it know the most confusing language on Earth? And it is the most confusing, as our language has stupid rules like silent letters. I guess it's just another thing we're not supposed to think about. After a bit of pacing back and forwards, they come to the realization that there could be more aliens on the ship. You know what that means? Someone on this ship doesn't remember their backstory. Who could it be? It's not Shun or Lana because they've already shown their backstories in flashback form. It would make sense it being Lana as she just sort of showed up, but it isn't her. What actually happens is while all these people get shot out their cryopods, someone snuck in with them, as there's 10 pods but 11 passengers, which I thought was a nice detail because it's there but they don't shove it in your face like a jump scare.